Hey everyone, with Hololive Expo coming up, I figured a lot of Kaigai Nikis will be coming to Japan and visiting Akihabara. Filled with many anime, manga, idol, and other related shops, I figured making a video recommending shops where you can find Hololive goods would be helpful to those who are looking to buy goods, as not all of the shops carry Hololive goods. Just a disclaimer, these are the shops that I recommend from my own experience. Feel free to roam the area and don't let me stop you from buying or going somewhere because I didn't mention it. You can get to Akiba through train, either through the JR station or the metro station. They're both train lines, but just think of them being run by two different companies, so they're not connected. The station I will be referring to will be the JR Akiba station, so if you're planning to come from the metro station, please do keep that in mind. They're very close by, so there should be no trouble finding these shops, even if you're coming from the metro station. When you arrive at the station, look for the Electric Town exit. Coming out of the fare gate, take a left turn and you'll arrive at the iconic scene of Akiba. So as you walk out of the station, you will see this big building, which is the famous Radio Kaikan. One thing to watch out for in this building is that because the location is very good, since it's very close to the station, a lot of stuff will be marked up a lot. And especially for like non-chain shops or non-chain stores, if you are in a rush or if it's not like a must-buy item, maybe keep the product in mind and come back later at the end of the day to see if you're able to like find the same product somewhere else for a more reasonable price. But that being said, like not all the shops are overpriced here. So before we enter, I saw this little poster of Pecora's alcohol, and checking the store to the left after entering, they sell some recently released Hololive goods as well as like the Pecora, Miko, and Noel's alcohol drinks. I haven't seen them sold anywhere else except here, like in shop, maybe they have it online, but if you want to pick it up, you can probably do so here. As we take the escalator up to the third floor of the building, we have K-Books. K-Books is a secondhand shop and in my opinion carries like the most amount of Hololive goods in Akiba. They have a lot of stores all over Japan and the prices are fairly reasonable, even though like some of the items may be overpriced in this store. I think the negative thing that differs this store from other secondhand shops is like the condition of their item is usually poorer than what is expected for a secondhand item. But Japan's standard of secondhand item is really high, so I don't think you have to worry about like things breaking. More so it's just like maybe there's like a tiny scratch here or maybe like the edge of the book is crooked, something like that. If you don't like mind these kind of things, then I think it's perfectly fine to like buy from K-Books. I definitely suggest taking a look in this K-Book as they have like a lot of small products such as like key holders and acrylic stands, all the way up to big ones like tapestry. It's like a little treasure trove because you could dig up like past items that people don't want anymore, or maybe they move on from the fandom. Moving to the fourth floor, we got one of the Amiamis in Akiba here. I'm sure Amiami is pretty well known, as they also do like overseas business with figures and all that. But as far as I know, they don't have secondhand products in the shop, but I was able to manage to find like a small section of Hololive goods where those goods are recently released. They also have like a huge corridor displaying like a lot of the upcoming or already released figures here, and there happens to just be like a giant Pecora figure here as well. I'm pretty sure you can't buy the figures off the display as they're only for display. So after we finish with the Radio Kaikan, we'll leave the building and coming out of it, we turn to the right and go down the alley. Here we will find Surugaya, which is also a second-hand chain shop. They also do online business as well, and they have like shops all over Japan. But yeah, the prices in this shop are usually like pretty reasonable. I tried filming here, but I realized halfway through like they have like the huge sign saying no filming on every single shelf, so unfortunately there's no footage here. I can only take pictures of the building from the outside. But yeah, the Hololive goods section should be on the left side right after you enter the shop. And they also have like some secondhand selection, and the more valuable ones are like in the low shelf inside, so you just need to call the clerk to tell them to help you get the items. Yeah, no new goods here as it's a secondhand shop. So after finishing with Surugaya, we get out of the street and we turn to the left, and just like sideway across the Radio Kaikan, you'll see Gamers. So Gamers is one of the major anime goods shop that sells new products, so there won't be any secondhand goods here. But if you go all the way up to the 7th floor, there should be a Hololive section by the right side of the elevator. And this floor usually is reserved for like all the anime VTuber pop-up shops. So the shops are like changing like from week to week. Hololive goods are like a staple from my many visits here, so even though it's like a lot of rotational shops, the Hololive goods are always there. At the time of my visit, they were promoting the Nipolabo concert Blu-ray release, so the elevator was wrapped in the design of the Nipolabo Blu-ray as well. The Blue Journey debut single was also released a couple of weeks back, so they scattered all these like Blue Journey character panels all over Japan. And here are some of the ones I've found. The event campaign ended quite a while ago, but I'm not sure why they have it here, but I guess like they just chose to keep displaying the panels here. If you want CDs, you could check out the 5th floor of the building, and they have like a little VTuber section there. So not just Hololive, I think there was like Niji-sanji artists as well. Keep in mind the goods are all new, so the prices are market price, so you don't really have to worry about like being marked up too much, because that's the default price. And yeah, as we walk out of Gamers, we turn right twice and we'll see like this like giant street. I think on weekends they close off the road, so it's all like you could walk through it, so no cars can get in. But yeah, hit down like 2 blocks and we'll see a shop called Hobby Paradise. So Hobby Paradise is a shop that also sells new goods, so they don't have second-hand goods here. They have like a little Hololive goods section, so I thought I would just point this shop out. They do, however, have like a lot of anime goods from many different popular series, and most of these are on the 1st floor or the 2nd floor. The Hololive goods are on the 2nd floor. And yeah, as we step out of the shop, we go a little bit forward, like 2 buildings down, we'll see Animate. And Animate is probably the most well-known anime goods shop. Like Gamers, they sell new goods and it's all over Japan. The 1st floor is like all CDs here. You can see from my footage here, the recently released Blue Journey CD is also displayed here, so you could buy it from here if you want. If you want more detail of the Blue Journey CD, you could check out my unboxing video in the description below. As we go in the building on the 4th floor of Animate, to the left after entering, you'll see like a huge row of Hololive selection goods. These are probably the biggest selection for like the newest release goods. I've seen like the sushi acrylic stands, the sushi set, and like the Hoshimachi Projects acrylic stand. Basically, I think like some of the Hololive online shop goods are also here as well. I'm not sure, like I don't think it's all of them, but some of them they have it here. And yeah, this is probably the biggest selection of the new Hololive goods that I can find in Akihabara. And you can see here there's also like a Fubuki Ayame Mio campaign ongoing at the time, and that's why we have like a little Fubuki panel sitting here. The campaign ends on March 10th of 2024, so it might not be there anymore by the time you get there. After this, we can head up the Animate, go back to like where the Hobby Paradise is, cross the street, and just walk around the block and you'll see a Mandarake here. So Mandarake is probably the biggest second-hand anime related goods seller in Japan. They have shops all over Japan as well as online. There's also a place called Nakano Broadway, which is pretty much filled with all Mandarake shops. Like majority, probably like 90% Mandarake shops. So if you have like an extra day, don't know what to do, you could head over to Nakano and go to Nakano Broadway and check that place out. Personally, I don't go to Mandarake that much, for this building at least, because usually when I go, there isn't really like a lot of goods that I want. Like the selection isn't that great from my experience, but maybe it's like a little bit better now. The building is also pretty inaccessible in a way that it's really vertical. It's a lot of stair climbing, and it's like in the elevator it's just like long wait. Basically like it takes a lot of time to get up and down. because of the shape of the building and how you get up and down, it's really like, it feels like really crowded. But yeah, what I like about this chain is like the price in the Mandarake shops are really like fair. So I usually use this shop as a gauge to see like how much an item is worth secondhand. I don't think you have to worry about like being like ripped off in this shop, because from my experience the prices for them are like really fair. They don't try to like upsell it absurdly. So yeah, take a look here if you want. I'm not sure where the Hololive section is, maybe they don't even have one, but if you have extra time you could take a look here. So after Mandarake, you could either like go through the street or you could just cross through this little field here and cross the street and you'll find Lashinban. So Lashinban is another secondhand anime related goods shop, and this shop has 2 floors. Near the register on the first floor you could find like a large selection of Hololive goods. I think there was like 1.5 island of goods. And there's also like a little display cabinet at the front entrance, or on the side of the front entrance, which they hold like the more expensive Hololive goods. So like signed goods, like rare goods, things like that. So if you want anything from the shelf, because it's locked behind in the cabinet, you just need to let one of the staff members know and they'll gladly assist you with opening and getting the item. The price here can be like up and down compared to K-books, but it shouldn't really differ that much. So for me, I bought like a little poster here that costed me like 300 yen more than if I bought it in K-books. But yeah, it's like minor difference. I think this shop has the second largest selection of secondhand Hololive goods in Akihabara. And yeah, I think it's a good place to dig up some treasures. And the last shop I want to talk about is Kotobukiya, which is a well-known store that makes figure. And I think there isn't like a lot of Hololive goods, but if I remember correctly, they sold like a lot of like they had like a lot of stock of the figures, like scale figures, on the first floor near the register. And I just want to point this shop out as well because there's also actually a campaign that's gonna happen. You can see here, starting from March 16th all the way to April 28th, 2024. If you buy 2,000 yen worth of Hololive related goods, you get like a little special postcard. So this is a gift novelty. And this is all split by generations. So you can see Gen 0, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gamers, 3, 4, 5 Holux, Indonesia 1, Indonesia 2, Indonesia 3, Myth, Promise, Advent, and Regloss. I'm pretty sure you could choose which design you want, and it's every 2,000 yen, I think, according to the little print here. So if you buy like 6,000 yen worth of Hololive goods, then I think you could get 3. But we'll have to see like how they do that. And this campaign is only available in 3 Kotobukiyas in Japan. So we got the Akihabara store, the Nihonbashi, which is in Osaka, and the Tachikawa store. And yeah, that's all the stores I want to talk about today. Keep in mind these are just the store I recommend, so you're free to explore and buy wherever you want. But these are just the stores that I have experience with. I'm sure there are like other more experienced shoppers out there that knows more than me. I also want to note that most of the major chain stores, second-hand, first-hand, operate online as well, although they may not ship overseas. Also, please do check their opening and closing hours for these shops. But the rough estimate for shops in Akihabara is usually they open by like 10, 11 and closes at like 8 to 9 p.m. Although it may differ for each shop. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this can be of help to those who are planning to come to Japan during the Hololive Expo or just visiting Akihabara, hoping to net some new Hololive goods. I'll link the Google map in the description below. If you enjoyed or learned something from the video and want to see more Hololive related content, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could press the subscribe button. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.